We're here with Kerri Puckett today, Senior Benefits Specialist at A&B Insurance. Thanks for being with us here
Thank
today,
you for having us, Rob.
Kerri. And we're trying to get to know you a little bit better, and we'll start off with some pretty easy questions. How did you end up at A&B? What did you do before, and how'd you end up here?
I ended up at A&B by answering an advertisement about 3 years ago to be an appointment setter for one of their long-term care specialists. And after that, they offered to help me get my license, and that's when I became a Florida Blue agent, and I've been with them for about 3 years now.
Great.
Yeah.
And how's the experience been over the 3 years? What do you like most about it?
It's been good, and I'm happy that I started out with Florida Blue. There's lots of different companies to pick from as an insurance agent, but being able to start out from the best of the best right in the beginning, I think has been a real positive experience.
Right. And following up on that a little bit, what are your favorite features of offering Florida Blue? I've talked to a lot of agents, and a number of them have said the network. Is it the network for you? Is it a combination of things?
I think it's the usability factor. I think a lot of these plans from company to company kind of look the same on paper, but from a member standpoint, the usability of when someone goes and actually uses their policy, it actually does work out very much as described. There's not a whole lot of loopholes to them, and they're really, really member focused. So I think that's even stronger than the network is, they work for the members.
They do what they say they're going to do.
Exactly.
And do you find that you learn that as a result of signing people up with Blue that have been with other policies and
Absolutely.
and providers?
Just solely from client feedback, and people get a policy, and the people who never have to use it typically don't know whether the benefits are ever as described. But just from client feedback, from what I've heard from members who have signed up with Blue who had other carriers prior, they definitely have a better user experience with Florida Blue.
Great. That's satisfying to hear, I'm
Absolutely.
sure, right?
Absolutely.
Do you, now I know, because I know you do a lot of work in the over 65 market,
Mm-hmm.
as well as major medical and under 65. Tell me a little bit about how you approach the over 65. What is your sort of, I don't want to say strategy, but what do you do in that area?
I think the over 65 market is how I prefer to work best because it's very old school. I'm originally from Oklahoma, where your insurance agent was your family friend and vice versa, used to popping around for a cup of coffee and taking care of families. The senior market typically tends to like to meet with agents in the home, one-on-one. They don't like to do things online. They don't like to do things over the telephone. And that's actually how I prefer to work best. So I actually enjoy the senior market is a little bit more than I do the under 65.
Okay. Now, you've been a full-fledged agent for 3 years, you said,
Right.
and in the business before that. What kind of changes have you seen in the business?
Obviously since 2008, obviously people were reeling financially, and fewer and fewer people were able to obtain coverage from a financial standpoint. We've seen in recent times people have more options than they traditionally had before because now you have short-term medical plans. Some companies like Florida Blue has loosened up some of their underwriting, so some people who I haven't been able to help in previous times, I'm now able to help get a policy for because the rules are starting to, I guess, get a little bit more relaxed since we're approaching Obamacare and healthcare reform.
And you're able to help more people.
Right.
Right? And how do you see that even expanding when October rolls around and then 14?
It's about to get huge. I mean, the number
Yeah.
that's been tossed about is 1.7 million people who haven't been able to obtain coverage now will get it. In addition to that, you've got other people who are going to be receiving financial assistance, subsidies. I think it's going to be a slow process starting out because there's going to be a lot of information out there. The media is going to have one spin on it. Political organizations are going to have another spin, and I think there's going to be a lot of rhetoric going around about how people feel about Obamacare as a whole. But it's going to take a little while just to make sure that people have accurate information, understand how the marketplace, healthcare reform works. And once people get the accurate information, I think they'll be happy with the choices they have available to them. I think we're going to be very busy.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to be very busy.
Right.
Speaking of this confusion that's probably out there and cutting through the clutter, I was on a conference call yesterday for social marketing, and they were talking about how people really prefer to get the message from someone trusted, a doctor, their trusted insurance agent, a nurse. How do you cut through that? I mean, is it just a one-on-one? You just take the time that's necessary?
We do, and I think we have a really solid backing at A&B Insurance and Financial because we've been in business for 26, 27 years. Clients throughout the Florida marketplace know our reputation, know who we are, and know that we've always been a point of contact to disseminate accurate and timely information to them. So the fact that Florida Blue and our independent agency work together, I think we're in a real good position to be a trusted source within the marketplace because we've got a very good reputation.
Right, and that it's sometimes it's hard to find an agency you can trust and really look back and go, well, they have a history. They've been doing it a long time.
It is. I think there's going to be a lot of agencies that are going to pop up wanting to be a piece of healthcare reform. And just for consumers out there, I think it would be smart if you're looking for information to just always ask, how long has your company been in business, or are you someone that set up shop to try to capitalize on what's going to be a very busy market? And I think the fact we've been in business for 27 years speaks for itself.
And that's an easy thing to sort of research and find out through the Better Business Bureau, and Florida Blue itself would tell you that.
Of course.
Well, that's great. Thank you for all the information, and we'd like to get a little personal interest questions out for you.
Okay.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a little terrier dog named Dora the Explorer.
Okay, that's always my question is why, how, and what? Where did the name come from? A fan, I guess?
No, she was out. I've never actually seen the show. She was out running in the road, and so she was out exploring, and I picked out so many cute names for her, but nothing seemed to fit, and then just Dora popped into my head, and she's real spunky, has a lot of personality to her, so Dora the Explorer it was, and it just kind of stuck with her.
Great. That's fun. I mean, everybody has a fun backstory pet name. Someone had a dachshund named Relish, which I thought was good.
That's an awesome name for a dachshund.
Hot dog. Who is talk about someone that you look up to, you admire? It could be a celebrity, it could be a personal acquaintance, not an acquaintance, but a friend, a family member.
Well, the cheesy and colloquial answer is obviously going to be my parents, but that's true. I got a lot of very unique personality characteristics, both from my mom and from my dad, and respect them both a ton. In preparing for an interview like this, sometimes you can ask a question like, who would you interview, alive or dead? I had to think about that one for a while, but I came up with Ayn Rand because she is my favorite author. I absolutely love the book Atlas Shrugged, and I think some of the foresight that she had, both in the way that her writing style for one, but some of the foresight that she saw with society back very, very early on, and some of the things that are going on in today's society. I'd love to be able to talk with her and find out how she knew that certain things were going to play out the way that they did, and I think the book Atlas Shrugged has a lot of relevance for some things that we're seeing in current times. So I would absolutely love to interview her.
A visionary.
I
had to read Fountainhead in college.
Another great book of hers.
Right over my head. I don't think I got one of the messages.
Yeah, Atlas Shrugged is about that thick of a book, and I reread it probably once every 3 months. It's a good 1,100 pages.
Oh, okay. I'm going to pass on that, I think.
Maybe
a Cliff Notes.
I'm going to get it read before healthcare reform starts. That'll be the only time I can fit it in.
Preparation.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little, what are your, administratively, what are your office hours? How's it best to get a hold of you? Those sort of housekeeping things.
Office hours are typically 8:30 to about 5:30 Monday to Friday, but I do make myself available some evenings and usually on the weekends because in digesting the health insurance market, clients need time to be able to sit down, be able to have a focused conversation with you so that they understand everything. And sometimes the only way to do that is in the evenings and on the weekends around their work schedules. So we try to make ourselves as flexible as possible in addition to normal office hours.
Okay. And direct phone number, email, best ways to get a hold of you in the office?
Definitely cell phone,
Okay.
But throughout the working day, I actually prefer email because we are on the phones nonstop in this job. So if someone shoots me a quick email, I can be responding back to them in a really timely fashion, even if I'm on a call with another client.
Great.
So email's actually the best for me.
What's the email address?
It's Kerri@ab-financialgroup.com.
Great. And the cell phone number, if you don't mind?
It is 904-386-2199.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was a very insightful interview. Hope everyone enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me, Rob.
Absolutely. And catch us next time. Thanks.
Bye.